Hey guys, it's Scott Chow here from theblogstarter.com, and we're just going to jump right into this tutorial on how to start a blog. I'm going to show you what the blog looks like first to start with when it's completed. And if you want to see this blog, I'm going to leave it up here. It's at scottchow.com. You can actually go visit it and see how it interacts with an actual user on the site instead of just watching the video. But this is what it looks like. This is just my kind of sample blog. And you'll see in the tutorial as we go through it, there's a bunch of different customizations we can do. This is just the way I decided to set it up. You'll see there's ways to change, the colors here, the background colors, the text, the pictures, the whole layout. If I don't want to have, this here, I can move it over here. If I don't want to have this at all, I can delete it. If I want to add, some other functionality to the site, I can do that. But so just keep in mind, that this is not the way your blog has to look. This is just how I kind of show you a basic blog and how you can set things up one way anyway if you want to set it up this way. So let's just go over some of the things that are in this blog. First off, we've got this menu up here which shows a link to the home page, a link to an About Me page, a link to a Contact Me page. We'll see on the Contact Me page we've added a form here so people can contact you and send you a message easily. We go back to the home. We'll see here we've got another menu. It's a nice drop-down menu which shows my blog posts in the different categories that they're in. So here's all my blog posts related to my travels. Here's all my blog posts related to photography. In addition, we've got social links here. So a link to my Facebook, a link to my Twitter, a link to my Google+. You can customize those, leave those out if you want. You can add in LinkedIn, your Flickr page or YouTube page. Whatever it is that you want to add in or leave out, you can do that there. We've also got a nice little widget here that shows my information from my Facebook page. It lets you like my page. It shows other people who've liked the page. So it's another way for people to connect with me once they've come to my blog. Also got a little welcome message here. And really important here is a way for people to subscribe to your blog. And what that does is someone puts an email address in, they click subscribe, they're going to get updates every time you do a new post on your blog. So as I go over in the tutorial, it's really, really important that you have that on there because a lot of people are going to, even if they like your blog, they may forget to come back to it. And if you can get them to subscribe, then they will always get notified and they'll always be updated on your blog, so they'll know, when there's something new for them to check out there. In addition, we've got a search box here. Helps us search for any posts that might be a little harder to find. So for example, if I wanted to find my post on Fiji, you don't see anything on Fiji here, but if you click here and you type in Fiji in the search, there's my post on Fiji. It comes up in the search box. So that's really useful to have. Also, recent posts are all here, and my bigger posts are here. And in the bottom here, we've got another little menu here, as well as our social icons. And again, this is just one way you can set up a blog. If there's something on here you don't like, you absolutely can leave it out. And in the tutorial, it will become really apparent and easy to see how you change things and how you, add other things in or change colors or change the whole layout and the whole style of the blog. Your blog can really look like anything that you can possibly dream of. It's pretty much just click and drag and copy and paste type stuff that you need to do. So it's really something that pretty much anyone can do. So as we go through this video, keep in mind that this is really designed to be used with the tutorials on theblogstarter.com. So you see theblogstarter.com. Check those out. Sometimes they're a little easier to follow than a video. The video I try to go slow, but it always goes a little bit faster. And here we've got screenshots and other stuff like that that'll make it easier for you to follow along. So back to the blog here. Keep in mind, you see up here at scottchow.com. So that's a custom domain name. So I chose that domain name. I wanted my name to be my blog name. And so that's what I registered as my domain name. So that's really the first step to creating a blog, is you're going to need to come up with a domain name to use. So it's kind of a big question. What do I want everyone to know my blog as? If it's going to be a personal blog like mine is, that's just going to have content, related to me, For me specifically, I've got stuff related to traveling or photography and a variety of other things on the site. I just use my name. I think that's always a great option. If you don't want to go that option, you can do something else. Maybe you're going to have, a blog about a specific topic. Let's say you have a blog about cooking. You can call it something else. You can call it, Scott's Cooking Blog, or you can leave your name out of it entirely and just call it, downhomecooking.com, or, whatever strikes your fancy. But the important thing to keep in mind is that if you're picking a really, simple common name, it might already be registered. And to check and see if that's the case, what you're going to want to do is on the blogstarter.com, if you go to step 1 here, you'll see the first step, as I'm talking about, is to pick a domain name. And then we're going to need to see if our domain is available. So, for example, if I want to see if scottchow.com is available, I type that in, I click check availability, and it's going to say already taken. That's because I've already registered it. But let's say I wanted to do, scottsnewblog.com, check availability, and domain available. Good. So that means it's free for me to register. No one else has already registered that domain. Okay. So now that I know I have a name, that I know is available, what I'm going to want to do is register it. And I'm also going to want to get web hosting for my blog. So web hosting is the service that actually puts your blog online. So you cannot have a blog or any other type of website for that matter if you do not have a web host. So it's really important that you choose a good web host, because that's what ensures that your blog is online. If you choose a bad web host, your blog may be down, it may run really slowly, it may have a bunch of other problems. So the host that I really recommend that you use is Bluehost. And there's definitely, a lot of good things about Bluehost, but one of them is that they offer you a free installation of WordPress. And WordPress is the software that I built this blog with. It's also the software that I actually use on the blogstarter.com. It's the most popular blog software on all of the internet. In fact, it's something like 23% of all sites are using WordPress. So it's hugely popular. It's really easy to use. It's really customizable. And it's free. If you are on Bluehost, you can install it for free and use it for free. So that's really awesome, because a lot of the other softwares out there, they let you, install one page on your blog for free, and then they charge you for a bunch more afterwards. So you definitely, want to avoid that. I think WordPress is definitely the way to go. And the other recommendation, or the other reason I recommend, Bluehost, is that they have also been recommended by WordPress since 2005. Which is, a huge deal. You want a website or a web host that's really going to be trusted and really going to work well with WordPress. In addition, they've got their customer service, they've got their money back guarantee, etc. It's, it's really quality stuff. And if you use the link on the blogstarter.com, you get a discount as well. So, so let's look at actually setting up your page with Bluehost. So to do that, and click one of the links here on the blogstarter.com. Again, that's going to get you the discount. And that's going to take you to this page. Click Get Started. And select your package. So for new bloggers, I really just recommend this basic package. These other ones are nice if you, really know that you need this stuff. But most people don't. And in the event that you find that you do, you can always upgrade later. So select the basic package, and then I'm going to put in my domain name. Click Next. And then it says, congratulations, the domain is available. And we're just going to fill out our information here. And then we're going to select our package. So I like the basic package if you're just getting started. And I also like to uncheck all these boxes here for these add-on products. Some of these can be useful, if you really feel like you need them. But again, it's something that I would just recommend that you pick up later if you feel like you need it. You don't need to get it right away. You can always add these things on later. There's no advantage to getting them now. So select the basic package, you put in your payment info, and you click submit. Okay, and then once you're done with that, you're going to get your confirmation email from Bluehost, and the next step is going to be installing the blog software and customizing it. Okay, now that we've got the hosting account registered and we've got the domain registered as well, we can start to actually install the blog. So to do that, we are going to go to bluehost.com, and then on the top right here, we're going to click login. And then we're going to put in our domain name here and our password. And the password was sent to you in an email from Bluehost. Oops, I forgot my password, speaking of that. And so after you register your account with Bluehost, you should receive a confirmation email, typically within about 10 to 15 minutes. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer, just depending on how things are going with the amount of people signing up with them. But once you get it, it should have the password in there. Then you just go ahead and you'll log in just like I just showed you there. And once you're in, this is called your C panel or your control panel. And you'll see there's a bunch of different things you can do here. And on my site, I show you a bunch of different tutorials for things like how to set up a custom email account with your domain name and a variety of other things. But the thing we're going to do now is we're going to install your blog. And we're going to install WordPress, which is the blog software we're going to be using. So we're going to click here on Install WordPress. And this is going to take us to the WordPress installer. So once we're here, we're going to click on Install to actually get the process started. But I want to point out, see below here, there's several options where you can actually pay someone at Bluehost to do what we're going to do for a fee. But we're going to do this all for free. So we're going to actually save several $100s here by following this tutorial. So I just wanted to point that out. And we're going to click Install. And that's going to take us to the installer page, or the second step of the installer page. And then we're going to select our domain from the drop down here. So you probably will only have one domain in your account, but in case you don't, just scroll down, find your domain, select it. Now this directory here, we're going to leave blank. That's if you want to install your blog on a subdirectory of your domain name, but 99% of people aren't going to want to do that. You're going to want people, when they go to your domain name, when they go to scottchow.com or yourblog.com, you're going to want them to see your blog first thing. So that's how we're going to set it up. So then we click Check Domain. And this just takes, like it says, it can take a couple of minutes while they make sure that there's nothing else that's going to prevent us from installing the blog software. So let's give it just a second. Okay, and now that that's done, we are going to click here on Show Advanced Options. And then you can put in your site name and title here. I'm going to leave it like this because we're going to actually change that in the next step when we customize things. You can also put in, you're going to want to put in your admin username. So this is a new account that you're creating, so you decide what you want that username to be. I'm just going to make mine Scott. And then I will also set my password as something that I can easily remember, not this crazy one here. And keep that box checked. You're also going to check this box here that you read the terms and conditions. And then you're going to click Install Now. And that's going to actually install the software for you. Now this takes, typically 2 to 3 minutes for it all to install. And then you'll see a pop-up that's going to show you, it's going to say Install Completed. So we'll see that in just a second here. Okay, and once that's done, you'll get a little message here at the top saying your install is complete. So now it's time to actually log into our blog now that the software is installed. So to do that, I am going to go to my site /wp-admin. This is your login URL. So it's a good idea. You probably want to bookmark this as well, just so you don't forget where it's at. Although there are other ways to get at it, which I'll show you later. So go there. And now that we're at the login screen, just put in either the email that you put in when you registered the site or the username we just created. So I'll just do the username and my password. And you can click Remember Me if you want. And then click Login. And so now we're in the back end of your site. So the first thing to look at is this is not what everyone else is seeing. This is only what you're seeing because you're logged in. If you want to see what everyone else is seeing, you're going to go up here, and then you're going to go to Visit Site, open it in a new tab here. This is what it currently looks like. It's pretty plain, just very basic. So we're going to change that here in just a few minutes as we go through. But if you ever need to see what the site is actually looking like to other people, you just go up there. When you're in the back end, you go up there to Visit Site, and you can get a look at what other people are seeing. It's important to keep in mind, too, this is not exactly what everyone else is seeing because there's a little bar at the top here that shows a variety of different tools that you have as the administrator. Not everyone's going to see this. You are only seeing this because you're logged in. So if you really want to see what it looks like, then you would go here and you could log out, and then you'll see it without this black bar. But I won't do that for now. So let's go into the back end where we logged in, and this is where you're going to make all your changes to your site. So to start with, we're going to go to Settings and click General. And this is where we can change our site title. So the site title is what you're going to see at the top in a tab, or it's also what you're going to see a lot of times right here. So currently my blog is listed as the blog title, and the subtitle is just another WordPress site. So we obviously want to change this. We want to make it a little more personalized. We want people to know where they're at. So for the site title, I'm going to make this a travel blog. So I'm going to call it Scott's Travels. And you can always change this later too. And for the subtitle, maybe I'll put something like Travel with Me. Now next, we have the URLs. So the URL is just the domain name of your site. And you can change these a little bit if you want. If you want to remove the www, you can. If you want to leave the www in there, you can. But that's the only change you should make here. If you mistype anything, if I put another letter in here, that's basically going to break my blog and not make it work. And there are ways to fix it, but it makes it more complicated. So for most cases, I would just leave that alone. Your email address is the one that we set up when we installed it. You can change that if you need to. And then once you're done making changes, you could just click Save. Okay. So the next change we're going to make is we're going to go to permalinks here. And permalinks basically dictate the format that your subpages will be in. So my site is scottchow.com, but when I create a new blog post, it's going to be on a separate page. It's going to be scottchow.com/my blog post or whatever it is. And this is where you set the format that you want things to be in for your subpages. So the one option here is plain, which basically just assigns a random number to it. And there's a similar option here called numeric. I wouldn't suggest either one of those because they're not very descriptive. I would suggest either picking day and name, month and name, or post name, because those are going to show the actual name of the post. And that's a little more descriptive for people, and it works a little bit better for SEO in terms of your search engine rankings. So I personally like post name, so I'm going to pick that. I'm going to click Save Changes. And the next change we're going to do is we're just going to look at users. So we only have one user here because it's just my blog. And what we're going to do is click Edit. And there's a variety of things you can change in here. The only thing I'm going to change for right now is the nickname. So this nickname is what actually shows up on the site. So when I write a post, it'll say by Scott or by whatever. So I'm just going to capitalize this because it's by default it's set to your username. So I didn't capitalize my username, so I'm going to change my name there. So if you want to blog anonymously or whatever, you can just put, by blogger, by administrator, or something like that. So just change that. Click Update Profile to make sure those changes go through. Okay, so now that we've got those kind of administrative things out of the way, we're going to look at actually creating some content. So the first thing we're going to do is create some pages. So pages are different than blog posts. Pages are used for things like an about page, which is what we're going to create first. So to do that, let's first get rid of this sample page that's in here by just clicking Trash. And then we'll click Add New to add a new page. And this, like I said, is going to be about me. So I'll just call it about me. And I'll just put in a little bit of text there. Obviously, you're going to put in a lot more. Okay, so as you can see, we set our permalinks to show the actual just name of the post or page. So it just makes about me part of the URL. And when we're done, we're just going to click publish. So now, at this URL, you will find the about me page. So about me, my name is Scott. Again, this is looking really plain, and we're about to change that in just a couple minutes here. So just bear with me while we put some more content in the site. So we've got a simple page there. Now let's go and look to add another page, a contact page. So I'll put contact me. And this is a page where people can reach me if they have any questions about my blog or just want to connect with me. So I'll just put, feel free to contact me with any questions. Okay. So that doesn't actually give people a way to contact me. Again, if we look at it, now that I've published it, if we look at this, it just says this. There's no actual contact form. So we want to have a form there. People can fill out their name and their email address and put in a little message and have it sent directly to me. So to do that, we're going to do a plugin. And a plugin lets you do a variety of different things. There's thousands of different plugins that you can use with WordPress. And they do anything from adding a contact form like we're going to do to adding maps or photos or a variety of other things. So plugins are really cool. There's a lot of different uses for them. Pretty much anything you want to do on your blog, you can do with a plugin. So to add a plugin, I'm going to go Plugins and click Add New. And the plugin I'm going to do is called Contact Form 7. Now there are a bunch of different contact form plugins that you can use. You can see there's this one, there's this one, there's this one, but I personally like Contact Form 7. It's a very popular plugin and it works really well. So I'm going to click Install Now. And then I'm going to click Activate Plugin. So now Contact Form 7, the plugin is activated. So what I need to do next is I need to actually configure it so that I can use it as a contact form on my site. So we see here, there's already a contact form created for us, a basic one. So let's edit it a little bit. So right now, it's going to show, it shows the different fields that are here. So there's your name, your email, your subject, your message. That's pretty good. I think I'm just going to leave it like that. You can always change these fields around or add other fields in. There's a lot of functionality to this plugin, but basically we just want something pretty simple here. We're going to keep it as is. So I'll go to my contact forms, and you can see there's a thing here that says shortcode. This is the code that we want to copy, and then we're going to paste it into our contact page, and it's going to show the contact form for us. So just select that text, and then you can either right-click and click copy, or what I like to do is a neat little trick if you don't know this. A lot of people don't know this. You just hit Control-C, and that copies the text. And then I'm going to go back to my page that I created, my contact page. Just contact me. I'm going to click Edit. See the text I added before. And now I'm going to paste in that text. I'm going to hit Control-V to paste that text. Okay, so now that little code is there. Then we're going to click Update. So now when I go to my contact page and I refresh it, we see this actual contact form here. So someone can put in their name, their email, subject, their message, and then they click Send, and it'll get sent to your email. So that's pretty cool. It gives people a way to contact you, get in touch with you, outside of the comments box that you'll also have on all your blog posts. Okay. So now that we've got a couple of pages set up, let's look at doing some actual posts. So an actual blog post. So there's a sample blog post in here called Hello World. We're going to delete that. And then let's add a new post. So like I said, we're going to make this a travel blog. So let's do a couple posts about traveling. So we'll do one about Fiji, and I'll put in check out my photos of Fiji. And then let's actually add a photo here. So to do that, we'll click Add Media. And we're going to upload files. So I'm going to click Select. And then we're just going to pick a file. And I've already put some into a folder here. And I'm going to pick this one. Looks like Fiji to me. These are not my actual photos. I just did some stock photos. And by the way, before we add this photo, if you were looking for free stock photos, I think there's a couple different really good websites. You can just search on Google for free stock photos. And this pexels.com I found to be really good. There's a lot of cool stuff there. A lot of really good high-res images. So you see all of these are totally free to use on your site. Got a variety of stuff. They got people, there's food, a lot of nature stuff. So if you're looking for photos that you can use without having to worry about copyright issues or whatever, this is a great site. It's also good to, if you have your own photos, feel free to upload those as well. That's definitely best. But if you don't have any photos yet, feel free to look on sites like this and find some photos that might be appropriate for your blog post. Okay, so that's where I got all the photos that we're going to use in this tutorial. So I selected this photo to add to my post. Now there's a couple different settings I can change with it. I can change the alignment. I can either have it aligned to the left, to the center, to the right of the post. I'm going to do center. And I can choose the size. I can either do full size, or I can do a really small one or a medium one. I'm going to go medium. And you can also choose to have it link to something. So when someone clicks on the photo, it'll take them to somewhere else. So you can have it set up to send them to a specific page maybe that you want them to go to. Or you can have them just go to the media file, which basically that means that they're going to be taken to the large version of the photo, which is great. So then in my post, I can show them the photos in this medium size. But then if someone wants to see the photo in, a higher res, a real big picture, they can click on the photo and then they'll be taken to the larger photo. So that's what I'm going to do for this case. So once I select my options, I'm going to click Insert into Post. It's going to put it right here. Okay. And with that photo as well, I'm also going to set it as the featured image, which is down here. I'm going to click Set Featured Image. Select that photo. Set Featured Image again. So now, when this post shows up in my menus and other things that we're going to do in just a little bit, you'll see this featured image. So it gives people a little preview of what the post is going to be like. And the other thing I'm going to do now, you should do this for all your posts, is you need to add them to a category. And right now we don't have any categories. We only see this one here, uncategorized. So what we're going to do is we're going to add new category. I'm going to call it travels. Okay, then we just click Add New Category. There you go, and the checkbox next to it's checked. So there we go. We've got our post, some text, got an image. We've got our category, and we set our featured image. And once that's done, we're going to click Publish. Okay, and I'm actually going to do a couple more of these, just to give you a little overview. So we'll click Add New again. Let's do one on Vancouver. And I'll click to upload files again, select files, and let's see, let's do this photo. Same settings as before, insert into post. Let's put it in our travels category. And let's set the featured image as the same image we just put. Okay, and you can add text, obviously. I won't do that for the purposes of this tutorial, but you can type whatever you want below here. And click Publish. And let's do one more in the travels section. We'll do Jamaica. And we'll upload a file again. And insert into post. Choose our category. Set our featured image. And publish. And let's do another one in the photography category. So I'm going to set up a different category that's going to be, just pictures basically from travels. So if you maybe your things aren't going to be as related as that, you can have a variety of different categories. Maybe you'll have stuff about recipes. Maybe you'll have stuff about parenting. Maybe you'll have stuff about just what happened in your day. So you can set up things in different categories, and it makes it really easy to kind of review things for yourself later on, when you're looking for specific posts, but also for your users. Maybe someone just coming to your website because they, really want to see your recipes, and they don't really want to see your photography, or they don't want to see whatever else you're writing about. So they can just go to the category that they want to go to. So let's create one. I'm going to do photos of a lighthouse. So upload files again, same process. Wait for that to upload here. And then insert into post. And now we're going to add a new category. So I'm just going to call this photography. And make sure that's checked. And again, we're going to set the featured image. Okay, so we're all set there. Click publish. And now let's do one more photography, and then we'll be done with the posts. So let's do monkeys. So I found this photo on that same free stock photo website. It's kind of a cool photo of a little monkey and the mom there. And again, it's going to go in the photography section, photography category. And we'll set the featured image again to be the same. And click publish. Okay, so now we've added posts, we've added pages. Let's take a look at how the blog looks right now. So we can see we've got our posts, we've got our pictures, but the layout's still kind of bland, and that's what we're going to look at changing next. Okay, so you see this is just a lot of white space. It's very simple, and for a lot of purposes this kind of blog can be good, but let's say you want to do something a little bit fancier. And so to do that, we're going to change the whole design of the blog. And the easiest way to do that is to go to Appearance here and click on Themes. Okay, so themes in WordPress are basically just kind of a code word for layouts or designs. So you can see right now we're using the 2016 theme, which is the kind of default theme that comes with WordPress. So that's how our blog looked roughly, is what you see in the preview here. You see there's a couple other ones that are already installed, but we're going to add a new one. Okay, so click here to add a new theme. And you'll see there's a bunch of featured themes here. We can also look at popular ones that a lot of other people are using, just to get an idea of what other people are doing for their blogs. So there's really thousands of free themes. There are also paid themes. Typically, I don't think those are necessary for most people. I think there's just so many free themes you can choose from. You're bound to find something that really works well for you. So spend some time browsing through these. Find something that really catches your eye. Actually, and we're going to do this one, I think, the human theme. It's a really cool theme. So we'll click Install. And then we can actually do a live preview if we want, just to get kind of an idea of what our site would look like before we actually activate it. So if I do a live preview, this shows me my site and how it would look with the theme. So all I did was install that theme, and now I've got a whole different layout here with everything. So it makes it look really cool. So I like that. So I'm going to click Save and Activate. Okay, so now this is my site. This is scottchow.com. This is how it looks. Okay, we still have a lot more customization to do, but this kind of gives us the basic kind of framework to work with when we're building our blogs. We've got our title up here. You can see our posts here. Okay, so now we need to actually customize this. So changing the theme gives us a cool framework, like I said, but we want to customize it. So we can click Customize here, or also from the dashboard, from the back end, there's a Customize link as well, where you go to Appearance and you click Customize. So this is what we call the theme customizer. So on the left here, this left bar, we have ways to change the whole layout of this site. And on the right here, we can kind of see a preview as we make those changes. So a couple things to note. These little green boxes here don't actually appear on our live site. So if I actually go to scottchow.com, you'll see you don't see those little green boxes there. Those are just kind of helpful tools to show you where different areas of your site are when you're in the customizer. So from the customizer, let's go first to content. And then we're going to go to layout options for the main content. And in this global layout section, there's a drop-down box. And there's a variety of options we can choose from. Right now what we've got is called 3 columns content middle. Now what that means is we've got 3 columns. There's this column, this is one column here on the left. This is one column in the middle. This is one column on the right. So 3 columns, and content middle means our content, all our blog posts, are shown in the middle. Now, maybe we don't like this layout. You know, maybe I want to do just 2 columns, and I want my content on the left. So this is the 2 columns content left. So you see my blog posts are all here on the left. On the right side, we've got another column, which we're going to add things to later. So you can even do 1 column where it just shows your content, and there's no sidebars. I personally like the 3 column middle, the default one. So we're going to keep that. So I just wanted to show you the different other options that there are there. And then we're going to go back here. And now we're going to go to blog design and content. So this is where we can change, another place we can change the heading. So this heading actually I think refers to this here where it says Scott's Travels, and the subheading is blog. So I'm going to change that. I'm just going to put my blog posts. And then here I'm just going to put a space because I don't want a subtitle there. So it's going to say my blog post there. So it's really cool in this customizer. You get to see these things, you know, change as you do them. So in addition to changing that heading, in the same area, we can also do featured posts at the top of our blog. So you can see this checkbox for featured posts on top of your blog is already checked. That's what this is right here. So you see this post here is really large, and these other ones are smaller. So this is the featured post. Okay, so I want to keep that. And if you want, you can choose just one category to feature. You can choose just posts from your travels, just posts from photography. I think I'm going to do travels. See that change there. And then you can choose how many posts you want to feature. So right now we're just featuring 1 post. I'm going to change it to 3 posts. And so then what that does is it adds these little arrows here. And those little arrows let you scroll through. I can see my Vancouver post, my Fiji post, and then back through. And then what I'm actually going to do is instead of having people have to click here to go through the posts, I'm going to animate it. So I'm going to click animate, check that box. And now these posts will cycle through on their own. So you see it's shifted there. I didn't have to click anything for that. It just goes from one to the next. So anyone who's just perusing the site, you know, they kind of see that come through. It's really eye-catching, and they get to see, you know, a variety of your content there instead of just looking at one thing. So I'm going to keep that there. I'll click Save and Publish just to save those changes. Okay, so that's all live on the site now. Let's go back here. And let's click on header. So the header design is up here. So this is what we call the header of a blog. All right, it's this top area that has the title, and you can put other things in there. So I personally like the way blogs look with a text title and a text subtitle, but if you want, you have the option to add an image here instead. So if I want, I can set a custom header logo or custom header image. So a header logo will just appear right here. It'll be very small. So let's do one. So if I do one from my blog starter site, we can set it like this. I'll click skip cropping. And then that adds a little logo up here. So again, I don't really like how that looks, so I'm going to remove that. But just to show you another option, You can also do it as a large header image across the whole top. And that's how this would look if we did that. It would just be a large header image. So if you have something you really want to feature on top of your blog, maybe a really nice landscape photo or just something that's kind of representative of you, maybe a picture of yourself, whatever you feel like fits the feel of your blog, it's a good place to put it where everyone's really going to see that because it's going to be the first thing that everyone sees when they come to your blog. Again, for our purposes, I think I'm going to remove that. I like just the text title that's up here. I think that works better for our purposes here. So I'm going to leave it, but I wanted to show you those options there because a lot of people do like to add those in, and they can look really good just depending on what image you use. So now we've looked at that. Let's go to the global settings here. So once we're in global settings, let's go to general design options. Now this is a really powerful area as well too, where you can change a lot of the major options on your blog. We can change the font of all the text. So there's a variety of different fonts and you can just try them out. You know, you're not going to know if you like one or not until you try it out. And it's so easy to just change, you know, you see how the fonts change every time I click. You know, there's just a variety of fonts to choose from. So find one you like, something simple and easily readable ideally. And then you can also change the colors of your site. So again, the theme just kind of gives us the basic framework, but we can change all these colors. You know, if I don't like this blue here, see it's a primary color, so I click select color. And if I want to change it to red, you know, that becomes red. You know, and basically any color in between here. I can do anything, you know, I want there. So that one's kind of nice. Maybe I'll leave that one in there. And then same thing's true with this color, you know, the secondary color. I can choose, you know, a blue, or I can choose, you know, whatever, a variety of different options. So keep that. Same is true for the background color of the site. If you want to change the top bar background, which would be, you know, up here, I believe, and then, or the header background, you can make it lighter or whatever color you want. So I'm not going to change all those options, but I just want you to see that they're all there and you can play with them. And the really cool thing about it is, you know, if you don't like it, if you don't like a change you made, you know, just change it back, you know, change it to something else. It's so easy just to click and, you know, kind of see what things are going to look like and test things out. So you don't have to worry about messing something up. Okay. So we've got the colors and we kind of got the basic layout of our site. Now let's get into some functionality. So one of the main functions that you're going to want to have on your blog is to connect it to your social media accounts if you've got them. You know, your Facebook account, if you use Twitter, if you use Google+, LinkedIn, you know, if you do a lot of photography, something like Flickr. If you're using, you know, your blog to really promote your work, you might want to connect it to your LinkedIn. You know, there's really just a variety of, you know, hundreds of different social media accounts that you can use. Obviously, the big ones are going to be, you know, Facebook and Twitter and Google+. Those are some of the major ones. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click to select my icon. So I'm going to do Facebook, and then I'm going to put the link to my page on Facebook. So I've already got a file here with my various pages, and I'm just going to copy and paste. Again, Control-C to copy, and then Control-V to paste. Click Add It, and you can see that popped up right here. So now it says Follow Facebook. So if anyone clicks this, it'll take them to my Facebook page. And it also shows up down here at the bottom. Okay. And in addition to Facebook, I'm going to add Twitter. And I'm going to copy and paste that in here. Click Add It. And then let's do one more. Let's do Google+. And copy the Google+ page and click Add. Okay, so now we've got all three of those icons there. And you can rearrange them and put them in any order. If I want Google+ first, I can put that first. If I want whatever Google+ last, I can put that last. However you want to rearrange it. So they pop up right here, which is really nice. So anyone who comes to this page, if they want to connect with you on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, they can click there. Again, you can add any of the other social accounts you want. Again, those also are going to appear down here, which is a really cool, neat feature of this theme to do. So now you've got your social links added on the site. So the next thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to create some menus. So right now, the only way people can get around to your posts is actually by clicking on this post here or these posts down here. Remember we created those pages. We created the About Me page. We created the Contact Me page. But right now, there's no way, for anyone to get to those. And so the easiest way to do that is to create a menu for people. So we're going to click here on Menus. And we're going to click Add a Menu. And let's call this menu Top Menu. No one's going to see this title, so it's up to you. Call it whatever you want, whatever helps you. And I'm going to click Add Items. And the pages that I want to add are here. So I want the Contact Me page, I want the About Me, and I'm also going to add the home page, just in case someone, ends up on one of my blog posts and they want to get back to the home page. I want to give them an easy way to do that. So I'm going to click the plus to add the home, Contact Me, About Me, and you can rearrange these two. I'm going to put About Me second. So it's going to say Home, About Me, Contact Me. So that's the menu with those links for people to easily access them. Now I need to choose where I want those links to go. So down here, it's the menu locations. You can put those links, or this menu, in the top bar, in the header, in the footer. It's up to you, or you can do all three if you like. So let's just take a look. If I do top bar, you see it adds this menu up here. If I do header, it adds the menu here. And if I do footer, it's going to add the menu down here in the footer. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it here in the footer, and I'm going to leave it up here. I'm going to get rid of this one here. So there you go. So now you've got these easy to read links here. If anyone wants to contact you, learn more about you, they can click here. And again, these are our pages that we created before. So if you don't like how it looks, if maybe you don't want to say About Me, you want it to say whatever, About Scott, or About, whatever, you go back to your page and you change the title of it, and it'll automatically update here, as well as down here in the footer. Okay, so that's one menu. Let's also add another menu. Let's call it Category Menu. Click Create Menu. And we're going to add items there. And we're going to add our categories. So right now we've just got two categories. We've got travels and photography. And remember, we created those posts and we added each one of them to a category. Those are the two categories we created. So we'll add those there. That gives a nice, easy way for people to find the specific category they want. Again, like I was talking about before, maybe someone's not interested in my photography. They just want to see the places, that I've been to. So this gives them an easy way to get to just the posts that are about travels, as opposed to the ones that are about photography. And again, we need to choose a location for this. So I'm going to put that in the header area. That adds it right here. So this gives it an easy navigation, for people. As they're scrolling through the site, they look and see my posts. Oh, I just want to see the ones about travels. Click here. It's going to take you to the post just about travels. So you can actually see this is how the travels, this is category travels. It only shows the posts about my travels. You don't see any of the photography posts in there or any of the other categories. So it's a really neat feature. So that's cool. We've got those basic menus. But if we want to take it up a notch, we can also create drop-down menus. And to do that, we're actually going to leave, first we're going to click Save and Publish, so we don't lose our changes. Then we're going to exit out of this Customizer view. And we're back in the dashboard area of WordPress, the back end. And what I want to do now is I want to customize those menus a little bit more. And to do that, I'm going to go to Appearance, and then Menus. And I'm going to choose the menu that I want to edit. So select a menu to edit. And the menu I'm going to edit is the category menu. It's already selected. You see I've got the two categories I've already added in there, the travels and photography. Now let's say I want to make it really easy for people to find a specific post. I don't want them to have to click on the travels category and look through all the different posts that I've done about my travels. So to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Posts. I'm going to select the post that I want to add in the drop-down menu. And I'm going to click Add to Menu. So they appear down here. what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to move them up. And you actually see how these two, actually when I put them in, they slid over. It says sub-item. That's what we want. We want these to be sub-items. So I'm going to, sorry, this is not working. Here we go. Let's slide this one over just a little bit. And now those are sub-items for the travels menu. Let's do the same thing for the photography post that I did. So I'm going to slide those over and become sub-items. So let's save the menu. Now let's look at the site. So let's refresh this page. So we've got our menu here, but now you can see when you scroll over it, it's got a drop-down box that shows the various posts that go in each category. So if someone just wants to see, just my photography posts, they can just click right here on the top. They can still do that just like we did before. But if they want to see a specific post in my photography category, they can click here and find specific posts. Okay? So that makes it really easy. You want to have people, you want to have really easy navigation so people can find what they want on your site. Now, not everyone's going to want to read everything that you write or everything that you post. They're going to need to find, specific things that they're interested in. And so you want to make it as easy as possible for people to do that. Okay. So now let's go back to the home, take another look at what our blog looks like right now. So we've got our menus, we've got our title, we've got some blog posts here, we've got this cool slider thing that rotates through some different photos and of the posts. I've got our menu down here. But right here we've got these two huge blank spaces. Now there's really useful stuff that you can put in here, and that's what we're going to do now. We're going to look at putting some useful links for navigation as well as just kind of helpful things for people to see when they come to our blog. So the first thing we're going to look at is customizing this sidebar. This is called the right sidebar. This is the left sidebar. So the things that go in sidebars are called widgets. And widgets can do a variety of things. Widgets can be just some text. Widgets can be, an image. It can be, something else, some other type of kind of plugin type thing. So to add those, we're going to go back to the back end of our WordPress site into the dashboard. And we are going to go to Appearance and Widgets. Okay. So you see right here it says Primary. That's the primary sidebar. This tells us where it's located. Located in the left sidebar in 3-column layout, which is what we have. We have a 3-column layout. This is our left sidebar. And secondary is located in the right sidebar in a 3-column layout. So that's this one. So we're going to start with this one. And these are all the different widgets you can add. Okay, there's a variety of different widgets. So you got your archives, you can add a calendar, custom menu, etc. So the first one I'm going to do is I'm going to add a search widget. So all you do is you click this, you drag it over. I want to put it in this area again. So I'm going to click Save. And then when I go back to my site, if I refresh it, you'll see there's a search bar here. So that's, again, really helpful for people to find content on your site. Say I'm looking for, it's like, oh, I heard, Scott had a really cool post about, monkeys on his site, but I can't find it. Well, why don't I just put monkey in the search bar? Oh, there you go. There is the post that you wanted. Okay, that makes it really easy for people to get to. Okay, so that's cool, and that's very easy to add. Again, we just click and drag that widget over into the area, and then it shows up on the site. The next one we're going to want to do is this widget called Human Posts. So Human is our theme again, and it has this really cool widget that we can add that adds our recent posts. Kind of similar to this other widget down here called Recent Posts, only you also have the option to show thumbnails, which means thumbnail photos, from your posts. So I'm going to leave it just like this. You can call it different things. Actually, maybe I'll put a title in. I'll actually call it Recent Posts. Then I'll click Save. And again, let's go and refresh, and it's going to pop up right here. And there you go. Now I've got my recent posts in a nice, easy to find format. So anyone's looking for what my most recent posts are, they're right here, as well as right here. It just gives people another easy way to access things. And it's also good, not everyone's going to end up on the home page, even if they're reading this post about monkeys, well, here's my other recent posts that you can easily find right here. Okay. So let's go back to the home page. So we've got this area filled in with some nice helpful things, the search bar, the recent posts. Now let's look at adding things to this area. So that's going to be the primary widget area. So let's collapse this. The primary widget area, the first thing I'm going to add is a text widget. And a text widget can be anything you want to type in there. If you know any type of coding, you can put code in there even. It's a whole variety of things. So what I like to do, I think would go really well in this blog, would be to put in a little text area that just kind of welcomes people to the blog. So I'm just going to say, maybe in the title I'll put welcome. I'll say, welcome to my travel blog. Feel free to have a look around and leave me a comment if you find something interesting. And click save. And now in this right area here, when I click refresh, I have this little message here. So it really personalizes the blog. If you are doing a blog about something that's a little more complex issue, maybe you want to explain a little bit about why you're writing about it or who you are. Obviously, you're going to have some of that on your About Me page, but maybe just a kind of short blurb, just to kind of give people an introduction to your page and let them know what they're seeing and why you're writing about it, who you are, etc. So I've got that there. Now the other widget I want to add there is something from my Facebook page. And I want to show my followers from my Facebook page to let people know I have a Facebook page where they can get other updates as well as the blog. So to do that, Facebook has a cool plugin called Facebook Page Plugin. Click here. That's the first one here. Okay. So this is the Facebook Page Plugin. And a lot of the other social media networks have this too. So if you want to add a Twitter plugin like this, you want to add a LinkedIn plugin. Again, if you do photography, Flickr is really cool. You can have a Flickr plugin that shows your latest photos from that account. A variety of different options. So we need to customize this thing. Right now it's just showing the plugin for Facebook itself. So we want to put in our Facebook URL here. So I'll put mine in. Again, you just use, if you have Facebook, you just put in whatever your URL is. So I'm going to put that in. So you see it pops up my Facebook page information. And there's a variety of different customizations you can do. You see right now, this is kind of giving us a preview of what it will look like when we put it on our site. And to me, this is a little too big. I don't want my whole timeline from Facebook showing up on my site. It's too much going on. So I'm going to delete the timeline thing there. See, that collapses it. And so this makes it a lot more user-friendly. I'm also going to hide the cover photo. And it looks like this. And I think I will also use a small header. Okay, so this really condenses it. It makes it a very much smaller widget that you're going to add into your sidebar. It fits a lot more neatly in there. So it shows my page. It shows my little avatar here. It shows, various people who've liked the page recently. In addition, I'm also going to change the width of it. I'm going to change it to 300 just so it fits in really well into the sidebar there. If it gets too wide, it won't fit in. And again, you can play with it. If 300 is too wide, just go back here and change it. And then when you're ready, just click Get Code. And then you're going to click the iframe tab here and select this code. Again, Control-C to copy. And then we're going to take that and we're going to add, save this one we already did, we're going to add in another text widget. I'm going to add it in on top here. Again, you can drag the order of these around however you want it. And then I'm just going to paste that code, Control-V. Okay, and click Save. So now when I go back to my blog, I'm going to click Refresh. That little plugin pops up here. Okay, so now, this is a pretty good-looking blog at this point. we've got our social media network stuff here. We've got more social media here too. We've got our menus here for our posts. Got our pages here people can contact, a little welcome message, some good recent posts here, as well as, another menu down here, my other posts here too. It's a cool little feature. If you click this, it'll take you to the top of the page. The one other thing that you're really going to want to add to your blog when you're first starting is an email subscription widget. And that's going to let people who come to your blog put their email address in, and then they're going to get updates every time you do a new post. And that's really cool because, a lot of people, they'll come to your blog, they'll say, oh, wow, this is great content, and then they forget about it. They've got 100 things going on in their life. They're not going to remember to come back and visit your blog all the time. So if you let them subscribe via email, what they can do is, again, they're going to get that notification in their email box. So they're going to remember that way. It's going to pop up and say, oh, Scott wrote a new post. It's about this. And so I'm going to click on that link and I'm going to go visit his blog again. So it's a great way to keep people coming back to your blog and keep them engaged. So to do that, we're going to add a plugin. And the plugin's going to add a little box right here for people to add their email address. And there's a variety of different plugins you can use for this. And the plugin I'm going to use is called Jetpack. So I'm going to go to Plugins, Add New. And you see actually it's right here, Jetpack, or you can search for it up here. So just search for Jetpack and click Install Now. And activate plugin. So Jetpack's really cool. It doesn't just do the email subscription. It does a whole variety of other things. And I get into those on my site a little bit more and at theblogstarter.com. And that'll show you kind of all the other functionality of Jetpack. But for now, we're just going to really focus on that email subscription widget. So to use Jetpack, we have to connect it to WordPress.com. And WordPress.com is different than your WordPress blog. So you're going to need to have another account. It's a free account. You just need to create one. And I show you how to do that, again, on my site. But you can just go in here and let's see. I believe my username is Scott14. It looks like it's working. Yep, there we go. So I'll click skip on this. Okay, so now we've got Jetpack installed. And to add the email widget now, it's really easy. We just go to Appearance, Widgets, and now you can see there's all these other widgets that weren't there before from Jetpack. They all say Jetpack, Jetpack. A bunch of other cool widgets you can add. So let's find the blog subscriptions widget. That's what we want. So I'm going to take that. I'm going to put it right below that welcome text that I add. And you can customize this. You can have it be called something else. You can have some optional text, again, to display to your readers. I'm just going to leave it as is. And I'm going to click Save. And then when I go to refresh here, we've got this little widget here. So this way, people can put in their email address and click subscribe. And they will get a notification every time that I do a new post. So that's really it. Again, as you saw, there's a ton of other options. There's, a bunch of other widgets. When we go to customize, we can customize things in a variety of ways. We can add more menus. We can change colors. We can change the layout. We can even go, back to appearance, go to themes, and we can even, add a whole new theme in that'll really change up the whole look of our site. Maybe I want to do, this theme here and have that kind of layout, whatever. You can also, again, with all these, you can preview them and kind of see this is what, it would kind of the basic layout of how it would look. So there's a ton of different options. This is just one setup, one kind of layout for how we could do this blog. Let me log out too, just so you can see what it looks like when I'm logged out. So again, that gets rid of that top admin bar. So this is what everyone's going to see when they come to my site. They're going to see this menu up here. They're going to see, photography and the travel categories. Again, you got the contact page here with our contact form. There's a little welcome message here, a way to subscribe easily to the blog so they get updates. That's really all you need, for a basic blog just to get started. You can always add things later on. You can take things out later on. As I showed you, it's just basically clicking and dragging and, putting in a little bit of text. That's all you really need to do to make changes. So don't be afraid to kind of, start with something, basic, and then just kind of build on it from there as you learn more. There's definitely a learning curve to this, but once you get it down, it's not too difficult. And keep in mind, for additional tutorials, you can always find those on my site, so theblogstarter.com. And you'll see there's the various steps here. I show you how to configure your blog in a different way in step 4 on my site with a nice walkthrough tutorial. It's not a video, it's just kind of steps, which makes it a little bit easier to follow along with. And this one's going to show you how to set up a different theme. It's a little bit simpler, a little bit cleaner. So if you prefer something like that, you definitely want to check that out. You also want to make sure, if you haven't got your hosting and your domain registered already, make sure to go to step 2 on theblogstarter.com and use the special link there to make sure you get your discount off the regular price. And check out all the other tutorials that are on the Blogstarter. You can also, I've got a ton of other stuff on here. You can go to the blog page here, and you'll see there's specific tutorials. How you start a food blog, how to start a fashion blog. Maybe you want to create a custom email account that has your domain. Maybe you want it to be, your name at yourblog.com. So I'm going to be Scott at scottchow.com. Or, a variety of other things. How to start a travel blog. I've got interviews with other bloggers who've used my tutorials to start their blog. The other thing you really want to look into is this one here, how to install AdSense on your WordPress.org blog. So WordPress.org is the blog that you have. And this is going to show you how to set up advertising to run on your blog. So if you're writing good content and you've got a lot of people coming to your site, you might as well make some money off of it. You might as well show some advertisements and make some additional cash off of it. And so I go over that in step 7 as well, how to make money blogging. It shows you how to run advertisements on your blog. Again, AdSense from Google is the easiest way to do that. And this tutorial here will show you how exactly to install Google AdSense. It's one of those things you could show ads. For example, on the blog we set up, you could show an ad right here. You could show an ad up here. Any of those places can show a nice ad. And anytime anyone clicks it, you're going to get paid. So you might as well do it if you're writing good content and you're working hard to get people to come to your blog. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have any questions in the comment section, or feel free to shoot me an email through the contact page on theblogstarter.com, and make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.